If you were a new cruiser, what are the things that are good to know before you go on your cruise? So that's what we're going to talk about. All right, so we both have a top 5 that we're going to talk about. I think your top 5 is different than mine.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see what goofiness comes out of this top 5. But I think we have some really good things that's going to be interesting for everyone. It's going to be very essential for the new cruiser. So let's get started. All right, so do you want to go first or do you want me to go first? Mine are probably better than yours.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So the good balance between the two of us is he thinks of probably the things I should think about, and I think about the more practical, I've already committed to this trip, that stuff's all happening. So
you're just wanting to see what wine list they have.
Well, no, yeah, I am worried about that. Why don't we go back and forth? Like you pick one,
okay.
I'll pick one.
All right, so I'll start with my first one. These aren't necessarily in order of priority or anything, but these are just, to me, 5 really useful things for the new cruiser. So, number 5, the drink package. One of the most important things on a cruise is the drink package. Well, if you drink. I guess
Correct.
If you drink.
Yeah, if you drink.
We like to have a good time.
Yeah.
So, a lot of new cruisers think that the drink package is already included. It's not. That's one big lesson I learned when I did my first cruise. I thought it was already included and it wasn't. So, just so you understand, in your basic booking fare, the drink package would be an extra thing. So, just understand that each cruise line has a little difference in their price and in what they offer for your drink package. Once you do your basic booking, then you can get online with the particular cruise line and you could look at their drink packages. They also have soda packages if you're just a wine drinker and you want to do that.
Wait, I got to stop you right there. I don't know where he's from, but we're from Ohio. It's not soda.
I'm from Louisiana, so it's kind of hard to remember this pop thing. But
I don't know what words you're even speaking.
They have a pop package.
Thank you.
But they also, if you just like wine, you can get wine packages. Or if you're just a beer drinker, they have various packages you can do. But they'll have a generalized drink package that'll cover most things. Most things. That's something also that you need to understand about the drink package. A lot of times the drink package will cover up to a certain price range. A lot of the cruise lines will have your basic drink package and your premium drink package. I'm just going to give you my opinion. The basic drink package is all you really need. Yeah. It's, for the most part, top shelf type liquors and bourbons, all those kinds of things that you like, that you probably drink at home. It's probably going to be on that drink package. If you're a little fancy, you can go look at the premium packages and you may want to go for that. It is a little expensive. Like I said, each cruise line will have a different base price range for that. And then another thing with Carnival, currently they'll have a drink max of 15 drinks that you can do. Some don't have a max. It just depends. But just understand the drink package is a extra cost.
Okay.
So that's my first one.
Okay. Do I get to talk about yours too, since you brought it up, or not?
I guess.
My thoughts of what.
If it makes sense, I'll let it on the video.
Okay. So originally, when we started cruising, we really tried cruising because we felt like it was something we needed to do. We really didn't think this was going to be for us. And I remember him trying to entice me because I do like to have a drink. And he's like, "I'm going to get the drink package. You're going to love it. You get 15 drinks." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like 15 drinks? Who drinks 15 drinks in a day?" We do, apparently. So I know it sounds like an awful lot, but when you're talking about from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, and depending on the cruise, it can be some specialty coffees and different things. It just depends on the cruise line and the cruise you're on. You actually could meet that 15. I don't think you'll exceed it.
It's not as easy as you think.
No, it's not super easy, but I thought that I'd have like 4, and I was like, there's no value in this, but no, I had more than 4.
Well, you have to count for mimosas in the morning, or Bloody Marys in the morning.
Breakfast mimosas.
The before lunch drink, the during lunch drink.
Okay, my
evenings.
turn.
Once you get back to the room.
After dinner, it just, the list goes on and on. Right.
So it just...
Okay. So again, yours are probably more reasonable than mine, but I'll say
yeah.
again, no order whatsoever. For the first time cruiser, the onboarding day, not when you're checking in necessarily, it feels a little airport-ish kind of, and you kind of get through your line and they tell you what to do. The next piece, everybody's on the ship. We haven't quite taken off just yet. They haven't done all, everyone's doing their musters and they haven't rung the little sirens for us to leave. Typically, on the handful of cruises we've been on, typically everybody's hungry. So they run and go get food. Generally, the specialty dining's not open at that time, but the buffets are, some of the coffee shops and things like that. Everyone's there. And so your very first impression can be like, oh, like, is it going to be this crowded every minute of everywhere we go for this entire 4-day, 5-day, 7-day, whatever amount of days your cruise is. But that dissipates. It really does. It is that moment of getting on the ship. Everyone's excited. Everyone's hungry. They've traveled, whether they've been flying or whatever they've been doing to get there.
They're getting ready for the sail away.
Yeah. And then that goes away. Not that there aren't times that the ships are crowded, like particularly around the pool and sail away parties and things like that. But it for me, has never been as somewhat overwhelming as the very first moment when you're trying to get food. That goes away.
It starts to thin out.
It thins out and it gets much more manageable. So that'd be my first new cruiser advice tip, to just know that's happening.
That was a decent one. I'll let that one stay.
You'll let that one stay.
Yeah. All right, so my turn. The next one I want to talk about, this is a really important one, your room steward. First of all, my first cruise, I didn't know what a room steward was. Like, who is this person? Why is this person coming into my room and talking to me? I'm telling you, the room steward is going to be your best friend. Trust me. That is the person, your go-to person. When you have questions, you're confused about things, you don't understand things, go to your room steward. Talk to them. Ask them any questions you have. They're going to be able to help you. They are awesome. Every cruise line I've been on, I've never had a bad room steward. They're all very well trained. A great time that you're going to want to use your room steward is especially disembarkation. Every cruise line kind of does it a little differently, and I'll tell you, it can be kind of confusing of like, well, what time am I supposed to get off the ship? Where am I supposed to go? What do I do with my luggage? Go to your room steward. They're going to help you out tremendously. Just any questions you have, they're going to help you. And I'll also tell you, please, please, please tip your room steward. They work so hard for you. Make sure you tip them. Maybe in the near future we'll do like a video, maybe kind of recommendations on how to tip and all those kinds of things. So look out for that video as well. So that's my next thing that I think a lot of new cruisers don't understand or know about.
Yeah, and a little piece that I'll add to that, you can do cash tip. You can write a cute little handwritten card to thank them. You can write it before you go, just shove it in your luggage or take it with you and write it when you're there, but something personalized. And I've also seen cruisers that enjoy giving them just some sort of small gift. It might be a small gift of candy or whatever it is that you feel like you want to give, but just something to really just show them your appreciation, because while you're on vacation, you're having a great time, they're working and they're working hard and they're working the entire time, and they're very happy to do so, and they're proud of their jobs and they're happy to be there. But I think it's just great to show them a little bit of gratitude as well.
Yeah, and I think for me, besides the bartender, the room steward is one of my best friends on the cruise. So just saying.
Hello.
Oh, well, you two.
Think that's me. Okay, mine. Our very first ship was a smaller ship. It's I'm drawing a blank of the name.
Carnival Elation. That was
Carnival
our
Elation
first
was
cruise
the very
ever.
first cruise ship that we went on. So it's still a big ship, but I didn't know what to expect. It was the first time I'd been on one. I'd been on day cruises. I've lived in South Florida. I've done some of those, but I hadn't been on this type of ship out in the middle of the ocean. It was choppy when we went, and there were moments of you could feel the choppiness. It didn't bother me at all. I also scuba dive and do other things. I've been in choppy water. It did not bother me whatsoever. But we do have our adult daughter that gets a little bit seasick, and I know for her that would have felt a little uneasy or uncomfortable. So just know that depending on the weather when you're going, depending on the size of the ship, there can be moments of you feeling a little bit of moving. It's nothing that made me feel sick in any way whatsoever, nothing to deter me, but just an awareness that every once in a while I would look at him and I would say, are we moving? Like, can you feel movement? And we could.
One caveat to that: the Carnival Elation is one of the older cruise ships. I think it's the second oldest cruise ship in Carnival's fleet. Probably one of the oldest cruise ships that are in most of all the cruises. And compared to a lot of the other cruise ships, it is a smaller cruise ship compared to some of the newer, bigger cruise ships. All these cruise ships, they have stabilizers and other things they utilize with the ship to really help out with a lot of the rocking and stuff. So a lot of the newer big ships, you probably aren't even going to feel anything. Maybe a little bit, but
all right, my list.
Just to kind of know that.
Yeah. See, he's covering for it. He's like, no, it wasn't bad. It wasn't. It wasn't
no, it wasn't.
horrible.
It wasn't. No.
But my list, I think you should know that there was moments of, wow. Did you feel that? But honestly, one of the best cruises we've been on, to be really honest. We really, really enjoyed it, so that did not deter me in any way whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay, my next one, dining. So for the new cruiser, again, it's kind of similar to the drink package. When I booked my first cruise ever on the Carnival Elation, I thought all the dining was included. Well, that particular ship, sure, most of the dining is probably almost all of the dining on that ship. But a lot of the newer cruise lines will have specialty dining, which would be an extra cost. So just understand that. On any cruise ship, the main dining room, the buffet, usually the coffee shops or something like that, they are probably going to be included. But just understand, depending on the cruise line, they're going to have different specialty dining opportunities that aren't included. Would I recommend specialty dining? Sure, I think they're awesome. I usually do at least 1 or 2 specialty dining nights on our cruise. But it's just something I didn't understand. I thought everything was included. Not when it comes to the drink package, like I said, and also dining. Just make sure to take a look at that with whatever cruise line you're booked with. And again, you can get online with that cruise line and check in, and then you could look at the different excursions and also dining opportunities. It'll all be there, and then you can kind of get an idea of what's extra.
Yeah, agreed with all of that. And I do think that there's value in the specialty dining if you're able to do it.
Oh, yeah,
it was nice to go to some of those. We've had some great memories from some of them on particular ships. So, if it's something you're wanting to add or can add it. But you'll have a great time if you can't. But I agree. Okay. Bathroom space. See, our priorities are very different. Bathroom space. So we've done cruises, just him and I, multiple times, the two of us, and then we've done family. And when we did family, that particular cruise, the most recent one, we had 4 of us. So we had 2 teenagers and him and I. The difference between the two was I could feel it. I mean, you could feel how tight those little spaces were. We had a great time. We're a silly family. It was fine for us. But the bathroom is the biggest place where I noticed it. So in that particular bathroom, you literally had like a shower, and you had a toilet, and you had a tiny little sink. But you don't have a lot of counter space on the sink. So we're going to do another video that gives you some tips on how to handle this. But just know that the bathrooms have everything you need in them, but they're small.
Guys, understand the ladies are going to take a while.
What?
Don't be impatient. Just leave the room, go get a drink, go walk around.
Well, that is true.
Hang out. You're on vacation. Calm down.
So that is...
Just keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. Just let them take their time. Let them do whatever they got to do.
So, wait.
They're doing it for you. So just be cool.
Okay, yeah, that is true. Everything he's saying, and we did do that. When there was the 4 of us, we would be, because again, we had 2 teenagers, a teenage boy and a teenage girl with us.
And a teenage boy in a room that size, be ready. If you have a teenage boy that you're taking on a cruise, get ready.
Oh, I don't know how he functions through his day. We learned a lot. But really, when Gracie is her name, when Gracie and I were getting ready, if we were showering, washing our hair, the makeup, the whole thing, they did. They went somewhere and did something like, hey, we'll see you in whatever time we needed to see them. So the good part, which I wasn't going to add to this, but since he brought that up, is every room we've had, there's a bathroom. And so one of us gets ready in the bathroom. And then after you're done showering, the first person can pop out to where there's like a makeup mirror area. So you can have 2 people getting ready at the same time. But like number 1 tip, get rid of the guys. Like, I know that sounds horrible, sounds sexist. Unless they take longer than you do, then they can stick around. But if they're like in and
if you have
out
a teenage boy, maybe
2 seconds, then they got to go.
All right, is it my turn again?
It's your turn.
All right, so another one that I didn't really understand or know about, elegant night. Okay, so first of all, when I heard that, I'm like, no, I'm not down with that. I just don't like the way that sounds. Okay, so a lot of times people think it's a mandatory thing that you have to do. First of all, elegant night, you dress up. You know, the ladies can put on a nice evening gown. The guys can have a nice suit and tie and all that kind of stuff. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do it. There's options. First of all, if you want to just go eat out of the buffet that night, then go do that instead of doing the main dining room. But you can still be a part of elegant night if you just want to have a nice, maybe a button-up shirt or a nice blouse or whatever. You can do that and still interact. They're not going to tell you to go change or anything like that. So just don't feel like you have to do it. It can be fun. I won't lie. I don't put the tie on. I'm not really down with that. But I'll put on a nice button-up, nice pants or something like that. We'll have a nice dinner. Usually you do the main dining room or maybe the steakhouse, specialty dining or something like that. Just don't think you have to do it. You can just go eat pizza for the night if that's what you want to do. There's options. Just don't feel like you're obligated to do that. Some people like it, some people don't. So just giving you a heads up.
So mine wasn't related to elegant night, but in general, I was going to talk about high heels and women, but it goes with this topic.
Oh boy.
When we pack, and again, we'll do a packing video later, we tried to pack minimally because we like to get off the plane on the ship and get moving, and we don't want to wait for luggage and things like that. I made the mistake on my first cruise of thinking, well, I'm going to want heels with this, and I'm going to want to wear heels with that, and we're going to have 5 dinners or whatever the amount of dinners were. They took up a lot of room, and I was surprised how much walking we truly do on the ship. So if you love heels, they look gorgeous, ladies, if that's what you want, and you are very comfortable in them, by all means, pack them, take them, have a great time. If you are someone that you get uncomfortable quickly in heels, they're not always the best option. And I have decided I will take 1 pair or none now. And it depends on what we're doing. If we're going to elegant night, obviously heels are in my suitcase. If we're going to be a little bit more laid back on that particular cruise and kick back a little bit, nope, I'll have some nice sandals or some nice shoes, but not necessarily heels because we tend to go to the casino and we're standing a lot, or we'll stand and have drinks, and I feel like I'm standing all night in those heels and walking around the ship, and it just gets exhausting after a while. So just something to know, there is a lot of walking. You will be on your feet.
All right, guys, I'm going to give you a bonus tip. Matter of fact, stay to the end of the video. We actually have 2 or 3 other bonus tips that we're going to give you. But guys, I have a bonus tip right now for you. If your significant partner asks you about shoes and what shoes and do you like these shoes, what do you think of this shoes, don't fall for it. Run out of the room. Don't say a word. Don't be a part of that conversation. It's not worth it, guys. If she wants to take heels, let her take heels. If she doesn't want to take heels, just let her do whatever she wants. I'm telling you, you don't want to go. It's a slippery slope, guys. Don't do it.
Yes.
First bonus tip.
Yeah.
All right.
Generally, I ask and don't listen anyway, so I don't even know why I ask him. But yeah, but they do, for me personally, if we're going a little bit more casually, they take up some room. Just they don't always make the cut for me. So it just depends on the ship. Depends on the shoes, the ship, and what we plan on doing for that one.
All right, is it my turn?
It's your turn.
All right, this is my last one. And this might be my most important one. Unfortunately, I do get annoyed with certain things. And on a cruise,
certain things.
The thing that really annoys me is people don't have elevator etiquette. I don't know what it is. They're on vacation. The rules just go away, and they decide they're just going to do whatever they want. I'm telling you guys, we're all adults. We know what elevator etiquette is. You do the same etiquette on a ship. So, what does that mean? Maybe you don't understand all the etiquette. I don't know. But if somebody's get off the elevator, you don't stand right in front of the elevator. You stay back and let them get off. Then you can go into the elevator. But here's the other problem. This is the biggest rule breaker that I see. The people that show up after you, they see the elevator open and they just bolt into the elevator.
Pile in.
And they just pile in. It's like we all know what a line is. We know who goes first and who's the next person. Please be courteous. Don't be that jerk that just cuts everybody and jumps into the elevator. Okay, so let's not do that. Let's figure this out. We can do it.
I can add a few things.
Well, there's a couple other problems that annoy me about elevators that I just need to talk about.
Can't imagine.
The other thing is, a lot of these elevators on these cruise ships, they will have a sign or some kind of thing that tells you the max amount of people that should be in the elevator. I don't know what it is. People lose their mind. You get a few drinks, you're having fun, and you're not thinking. People will pile this into these elevators like it's the Tokyo subway. I don't know what it is. Please, if there's no room, wait for the next elevator. You don't need to pile in and cram everybody. So, come on. We all know this, right? The last thing that I'm going to say is if you are actually just going up to one floor above you or below you, don't use the elevator. Just use the stairs, right? It's not going to kill you. Just do that. It'll help out so much because what happens is people will hit the button, they get very impatient, and then they leave. Well, they're all doing that on all the different floors. So when you're waiting on your elevator, it takes forever because everybody keeps hitting it and leaving. Or you could have just walked up one flight of stairs. So just, come on, guys. We're better than that. We can do better.
I can add. So obviously I think, use the elevator if you need to. Use the elevator particularly if you have some sort of disability or you're elderly, especially if we're talking about one floor. I mean, anybody can use the elevator, but try to be considerate of everyone else. I did learn quickly on cruises that those cute little scooters that people have to assist them, they will run you over. So if you are in the elevator and you don't look like you necessarily need to be in there and or you're not making room for someone that obviously really needs to be in that elevator, they will shimmy their way on in. So be cautious of that and be careful.
We could do a whole video on scooter etiquette.
We could. There's scooter etiquette that needs to be done as well. Someday we'll hopefully be in those cute little rascal scooters riding around one day, but we're not currently. But just be aware of the scooters. And I'll tell you, if you hear them kick into reverse, look around. Make sure you know where that scooter's coming from because they will run you over.
All right. You have one more?
I do. I have one more. So mine goes back to the room feeling. And again, the difference between having 2 in the room and having 4 in the room. With 2 of us, a room without a balcony didn't feel really all that cramped. I mean, it is small, but it felt doable. It was fine. Generally, we're not spending very much time in our room. We're sleeping there. We're showering. That's about it. When we added it and we grew up to 4, I can tell you I miss the balcony. The balcony does give you an illusion of some more space. It does give you just a little bit more room for your cranky teenager or cranky husband, whatever you got, to walk out there and get some fresh air and make you feel like you have a little bit more room. But again, generally, we're very rarely in our rooms, but when you start getting into 3 or 4 people in a room, it gets a little bit tight. That's it.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Does it? Okay, thanks. Awesome.
I'll let you have that one.
We do have a special guest. Our special guest today is one of our teenagers. It's Gracie, who I talked about a minute ago. And we thought it would be helpful for her to give a teenager's perspective of what it's like to cruise. Because obviously we talk a lot about drink packages and things that are important to us. And those don't pertain to her. So we're going to grab Gracie and let her give you a couple of her tips. Here she is, the rock star and our special guest. Welcome to Rasberry Getaways. This is Gracie Rasberry.
I guess we should have probably reviewed her stuff to make sure it was worthy.
No, who knows what she's going to say. We don't know.
We have no clue what she's going to say.
But we did get to enjoy being with Gracie on a cruise recently.
It was her first cruise.
It was her first cruise. Three of us on a camera talking might not work very well. But here you go. This is your opportunity.
So Gracie,
you are on YouTube right now.
What is your first tip for new beginner cruisers that are teenagers?
Okay. So, on my first cruise, I did not know what to expect at all. I'd never been on a cruise. I'd been on many vacations, especially with my family, but I hadn't been on a cruise ship before. So I really didn't know what to expect. I went in completely blind. But I was really surprised that you are treated more as an adult when you're a teenager, especially at the time when we went on the cruise, I was 16. So you are treated as an adult and you're treated with respect and you're treated maturely, especially with, having my parents there and everything. I kind of expected them to do all the talking, them to do all their own thing, and I'm just kind of there. but I was able to like make my own decisions and kind of do what I wanted to, which was something that I really enjoyed.
All right, that's a pretty good one.
That's all right. Yeah. So you're saying we're controlling otherwise?
Yeah,
normally?
you're saying
No.
Is that what? Okay.
No.
Awesome. Yeah. She
That's
felt
what I
free.
heard.
Free on the ship.
All right, what else? What else you got?
Well, speaking of being free, with family trips, sometimes you do like family activities, and I was
Which you
like,
love, right?
totally.
Yeah.
Which I was like, okay, well, are we gonna be able to do stuff that I want to do? And what was really nice is that on this specific cruise, they would go do some like travel stuff for a little bit. So sometimes my brother and I would be able to just kind of do what we wanted to do in terms of what interested us. So like there was like an escape room, or we would just like go hang out by the pool. And we were able to have a lot of freedom. And like I said, I was 16, and with cruises attracting people from all over the world, sometimes 16 is considered an adult. So I was able to go into the adult pool areas, which was super nice. I highly recommend doing that, because as much as I love kids and as much as I love hanging out with my brother, it was very, very nice to dip into these like adult pools where there are not screaming children. People just want to sit in there and relax. There was this big hot tub that you can just hang out in, and it was super, super nice. So yeah, you do have a lot of freedom, like more than you would think, as a teenager on the cruise. And some of that has to pertain with what your parents allow you to do and how your parents feel about things.
Yes.
But luckily for me, I did feel like I had a lot of freedom, and I was able to do things that interested me, but also spend time and do things that they wanted to do.
I feel like we need to reel her back.
I know. I'm like, oh, I'm getting a little nervous.
Pull back.
But I'll tell you, I was never fearful that someone was going to serve her alcohol or anything like that. Like,
No,
it's not
not-
that.
She
kind
tried
of
a
freedom.
few times.
She did not.
I did not.
She did not. But she's right. There was I believe it was called the Serenity area, or
Yeah.
am I making that up? I don't know. Where there was just really nice hot tubs that overlooked the water, and it was just a little bit more relaxed in there. The music wasn't as loud, and it was just very peaceful. And we enjoyed going in there a few times. And then there was also an additional pool that if you were 16 or older, you could get in. And so she did like that. She adores her brother, but it was fun to just be able to not, feel like she was entertaining him all of the time, and she got to have just a little bit of her own independence.
All right, what else? You got anything else?
Yes, so last one. I am a teenager, so naturally I'm very attached to my phone. But the one thing that I would really give some advice about to other teenagers going on a cruise, especially when you're going on a cruise with your family, is try to get off your phone a little bit. Honestly, like sometimes like if you're annoyed with your parents or you just kind of want to like
What?
stay away for a little bit, it can be really easy to just kind of get on your phone and scroll. But it's really nice to just kind of detach a little bit, and just walk around the cruise ship or go explore new things and really just try new things. Because cruises, you're seeing all different things, you're meeting all new people. So it's nice to be able to try some things that you're like naturally be like, oh, this seems kind of boring. Or, oh, this seems not something that I would really be interested in. But it's nice to kind of put yourself out there a little bit and not be on your screen so much.
I would say even with food, even when we would go to dining and stuff, you're like, hey, I'm on vacation, I'll try it.
Let me try this.
And
Yeah.
you venture out just a little bit more, even for the teenagers. He's now 14. Our then 13-year-old son was with us. We opted to interview him as well, and he wasn't interested because he's a 13-year-old boy, and I didn't catch him on the right day, apparently. I will tell you, if he was here and he was going to chime in, I have a feeling that what he liked the most was the free pizza, the free ice cream, I ate whatever I wanted from the minute I woke up until the minute I went to sleep. I would venture to guess those were his favorite parts. Yeah. He does enjoy us as well, believe it or not, but I think that's probably what he liked the best.
Yeah. All right, so that was our bonus tips, and good job.
Way to go.
You didn't embarrass me.
No.
You did a good job.
Your dad embarrasses me all the time, but you did great. So you want to go on another cruise?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's get it in the books.
All right. Well, I think we have a few in the books, so we'll have to see if we can add her. I don't know. We'll see how she does.
We've got a special one for her that she doesn't know about yet, so we'll have one.
Yeah,
Just
we'll have one, a big one coming.
Yeah.
So that's all we really have for this beginner cruise top 5 list. We'll definitely do some more videos to kind of go over some stuff for the new cruisers, but also for experienced cruisers as well. We've been on a lot of cruises. We have some good information and tips that we're going to put out here soon. So just thank you for being with us. As always, please subscribe. Please give us some comments. We'd love to hear from you. Whatever feedback you have, we'd love to hear from you. So thanks.